Beginning with a top focus this hour, in a bid to boost economic ties, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a strong pitch to Japanese industrialists, urging them to come make in India and make for the world. Addressing the India-Japan Economic Forum in Tokyo as part of his two-day visit to the country, Prime Minister Modi said that strong business ties between both countries are vital elements for friendship.
हम ग्लोबल साउथ विशेषकर अफ्रीका के विकास में अहम योगदान दे सकते हैं। मैं आप सबसे आग्रह करता हूं, कम मेक इन इंडिया, मेक फॉर द वर्ल्ड।
In Tokyo, Prime Minister Modi advocated for deepening the existing partnership and exploring possibilities for new cooperation with Japan. Prime Minister Modi will also participate in the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit and engage in high-level talks with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Earlier upon his arrival, Prime Minister Modi was given a rousing welcome from members of the Indian diaspora and the Japanese community. After its visit to Japan, Prime Minister Modi will be attending the SCO Leaders Summit in Tianjin, highlighting India's active and constructive role. Prime Minister Modi even said that India will keep working with SCO members to address various challenges. Ahead of the summit, the Indian leader will have a bilateral meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Sunday, that is on 31st of August. In fact, this year's SCO summit, which will take place on 1st of September, is expected to be a show of global South solidarity amid trade tensions unleashed by Trump's tariffs. As we speak, Prime Minister Modi is on a two-day visit to Japan. And in some time from now, we are also expecting a joint briefing by both the leaders, Indian Prime Minister and his Japanese counterpart. Just a short while back, Prime Minister Modi was even speaking to the business leaders in Japan in Tokyo, where he called on business leaders, entrepreneurs to come and invest in the country, making a clarion call to the entrepreneurs in Japan. Addressing the India-Japan Economic Forum in Tokyo, which is, of course, part of his two-day visit to the country, Prime Minister Modi urged entrepreneurs, business leaders to come and invest in India, and all of this in the backdrop of the standoff with US over trade ties. Also to note that this visit of the Indian Prime Minister comes just days ahead of the SCO summit that is to take place in Tianjin, where Prime Minister Modi is expected to hold several bilaterals on the sidelines of the SCO summit. So just ahead of the SCO summit, this is a crucial visit of the Indian Prime Minister. He was speaking to the entrepreneurs just a short while ago, in which he called on entrepreneurs, business leaders, startup investors to come and invest in India. All right, so in just some time from now, expecting the joint statement by India and Japan. Also, with just minutes away for the joint briefing, Prime Minister Modi is was also engaged in conversation with the entrepreneurs, calling them to invest in the country. Joining us on the broadcast is Ambassador Gurjeet Singh, who has been a former Indian ambassador to the ASEAN and a diplomat in Japan. Ambassador Singh, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. Prime Minister Modi, as we just heard him a short while ago, he made a clarion call urging entrepreneurs to make in India, make for the world. Your quick analysis on how do you see India-Japan ties panning out in the next 5 days vis-a-vis India's straight standoff with the US?
Thank you. I was in Japan last week, and on the sidelines of the TCAD and at the TCAD summit itself, Prime Minister Ishiba made an important announcement that Japan would like to connect with Africa through India and the Indian Ocean. Now, you add to that the current buzz that Japan will double its investment in India, and you have an entire new matrix of the Indian Ocean region, which Japan and India together want to explore for trade, FDI, and services. Now, in this, there are several areas that the Prime Minister has mentioned in his speech. There's manufacturing, there's technology, there's services. Now, it is up to Indian industry to grasp these opportunities. Otherwise, Japanese companies will come and invest on their own, or they will come with new startups and small companies. So this is the time, if you want to do new kinds of business, then you have to adopt new avenues of doing them, new channels of doing them. And that is somewhere I would like to read the report of the India-Japan Business Committee, which was submitted today, and then see what precisely they have in mind. But generally, I believe that they are not keeping up with the times, and Japanese companies are largely going alone into India rather than having too many tie-ups.
Yes, Ambassador Singh, I wanted to touch upon how India has been becoming a voice of the global south, not to forget the joint declaration that was signed during the G20 summit. How do you see that panning out in the long run, India becoming a voice of the global south in wake of the trade tariffs imposed by the US?
I have been promoting India-Japan trilateral cooperation in Africa for some years. And I'm very happy at the direction things are taking now, because now at the level of Prime Minister Ishiba, this idea of Japan, India in Africa through the Indian Ocean has been enunciated. I would really like to wait for the joint statement to see how India has responded to it. But Global South, at this moment for Japan to work with India is in Africa. We would like to see more of ASEAN, South Pacific, and Latin America coming into it. But at this moment, Japan is actively seeking collaboration with India for Africa. I think strategically speaking, this is a very important time. India and Japan are both troubled by sudden tariffs which are taken us by surprise. India does not have a trade agreement with the United States yet. Japan has an agreement, but is equally miffed because they don't know where it is going. And you would have seen the news that their trade negotiator actually cancelled his visit to the United States in the absence of clarity. So I think we are both caught in this trap. So this is an opportunity for us to do more together to resolve these traps and get out of them.
Yes, Ambassador Singh, another domain that I wanted to touch upon here is the semiconductor space. Not to forget that Japan has been a key partner for India from semiconductors to startups. How do you see these sectors further being leveraged to boost trade ties with the country?
Really? So there is a semiconductor plan with the Tatas, with 3 Japanese companies. I think the electric vehicles, Maruti Suzuki is doing, Prime Minister just inaugurated it. And the unicorn antenna in defense electronics, I think they are coming. We need to split our defense electronics and wider S&T base for joint production in India. So this does not only include startups, but we must include cutting edge companies who will then have relationship with Japanese companies and technology to take the next step Because after all, if 10 trillion of new FDI has to come to India, it cannot be in the traditional sectors. It requires new sectors, which the PM has correctly highlighted, but we need the private sector to step into it. So I see Japanese companies making many more forays to India. I've seen the Battery Association has been here, a semiconductor delegation has been here, electronics delegations have been here, and several sectors like this are coming here, and we should be ready to engage them so that they get support to implement these new ideas at the level of governments.
Yes, Ambassador Singh, also if you can give your insights on whether you think that India really needs to ease some policies also at this stage in order to invest, in order to invite more investors from not just Japan but from other leaders, other countries in Global South.
Where Japanese companies in India are concerned, they have a fast-track mechanism with the government where their problems are raised and then resolved through that route. So I think that is quite satisfactory. But the policy level issues, and I think the most commonly mentioned one are labor laws, and GST has been an issue, water and power controls is another one. So I think these require land use conversion. So these require policy changes. One way of doing it is to have more economic zones where these laws can be amended without reforming the rest of the country. But I am not certain the Japanese are satisfied now with just staying in economic zones. So therefore, I think we need a broad-based policy shift in which we will have big bang reforms which will facilitate FDI and technological progress in India, which we are inviting. And this will help not only foreign businesses, but also Indian businesses to expand their role domestically.
Right. Ambassador Singh, point taken, and of course remains to be seen whether we see the policy changes, more changes rather, in the coming years and months. But waiting for that joint briefing by both the leaders, we'll try and connect with you again. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast.
Thank you.